What is up, world? It is the day after Hurricane Dorian in Charleston, South Carolina. I gotta go to the beach. I live on James Island, which is a barrier island, but Folly Beach is also an island. Fucking clown. My neighbors are clowns. Anyway, I gotta go down to Folly Beach, but I figure I would film along the way and what's going on down on Folly Beach. For those of you who are not here, who may know somebody here, or may just be a rubbernecker, the kind of person that likes to stare at an accident when they drive by. They like to see the carnage that happens here in South Carolina. I feel like we got pretty lucky. We were only without power for about 12 hours here on James Island. However, currently my mother is still out of power 24 hours later from when it went out. Fucking garbage everywhere. Anyway, that's enough of my face. I'm going to flip the camera around the other direction and do some filming. So at the moment, this is Maybank Highway by the Charleston Municipal Golf Course. Oh, there's some shit down on the side of the road there. I'm going to try to turn over here on a road called Golf View so that it takes me down to Riverland Drive so I can take Riverland Drive across the island. Excuse me. Shall see if this road is passable. I have my chainsaw with me, but I'm not looking to do any work the city should be doing.
I will say, apparently the fire department was driving around with chainsaws yesterday, trying to help clear debris in the road.
That works.
Yeah.
Alright, so apparently there's nothing real special going on here at the moment. That was exciting. We just had to blast across Maybank Highway with no stoplight. People die in that intersection with a stoplight on a regular basis. Well, kind of chuckling at a yard I took care of there for a while where the woman was less than pleasant. So this is Riverland Drive. I don't have any idea which side of the actual island. North, south, east, west. Everything's turned around here. Oh, alright, big tree was down here. Both sides of the road, shit.
Dang. Tree on the house.
Okay. I didn't see it. Making sure I'm not running shit over. And for any of you who might be new to my channel that wants to know what that ding is, I drive a Dodge Ram. It has an airbag light that comes and goes. That I'm sure is under recall. I have more better things to do with my life than to sit at a Dodge dealership for a day while they do a 5-minute job. Actually, anymore, technically, it would be a Ram dealership. There's a fence with a tree on it over there. I can pause this until I see something more exciting. This portion of Riverland Drive here, we're getting ready to pass by the Senior Center and the James Island County Park. There's actually tidewater just to the left of us. It doesn't look like this road was a full washover, because when the road's a full washover, you get all the marsh grass reeds flood into the road. I saw that either last year or the year before, I can't remember, when it flooded on the way down to Folly Beach, and the roads were covered in it. This being as close to tidal water as it is surprisingly clean.
Park's closed.
Oh well. There's nothing really worth going to at that park anyway. If you've gone there once, you've gone there a dozen times. It's the same thing. Not very big. Thankful that they have a park, but there's nothing really to it. This, folks, is where they're getting ready to install a roundabout, which I'm not at all excited about. People around these parts can't drive straight, let alone around corners. Alright, we are coming up on a tree still in the road. There's a taped up fire hydrant back there. Maybe that's the cable people and they're fixing my internet. So there's a big tree down in the road. truck, not a cable truck, which is fine. Restore the power before the cable. You just, you know.
At some point it'll be nice.
It'd be kind of nice, because then I could upload these videos, because, yeah, the cell phone service in this area is lacking, to say the least. To try to upload a large file video might take the better part of about 9 hours to do the lovely phone service we get here in South Carolina after a storm. So I'm waiting on Wi-Fi for you guys to see this. And yes, I know Xfinity said they're having Wi-Fi hotspots. Well, when there's no internet in the entire area, their Wi-Fi hotspots don't work. Yeah. This kind of reminds me of driving in Western Washington on a regular day. Damp in here. Hey, look, a Toyota driver driving way too fast. Welcome to Charleston. My brother made the joke, because he's up in Eureka, California, that the Toyota 4Runner is the modern-day equivalent of the Humboldt County Volkswagen. And I never really thought about it until he said that, and I looked around, and yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Humboldt County Volkswagen. Looks like it. I'm surprised that none of these trees actually. Well, there's part of one there that came down. Wow. Oh. Yeah. Better pay the fuck attention. That's. Wow, this is fucking sketchy.
Yeah.
I got a guy in a Toyota truck behind me, followed by another guy in a Toyota truck. Imagine that.
Perhaps they need a wave.
Yeah, with the middle finger. I don't know. Sad. I used to like Toyotas, but anymore it just seems like assholes drive them. This is pretty dicey. It's a good thing I like my clients that I'm headed to their homes to look at, because this is a little sketchy.
And we still have our own.
Yeah, we haven't even tended our yard yet. I'll get to that later. I don't get paid to do that. This is my time to shine here, per se, and go take money from people who have more of it than I do. That was the patch of Riverland Drive that I was worried about, that, you know, for good reason. These trees are old and not tended to, ever. And I kind of expected actually worse through there. The light's kind of hard on my eyes at the moment, though. I'm having a hard time focusing. Pause this for now. Alright, so I've made it out to Folly Road. So far so good out here on Folly Road, but this is a big wide road.
Well, minus the lights not exactly working.
No, the light's at least blinking. That's yes. More than it was back at the other one. Not functioning though. By the time this video makes it to the internet, none of this should even be relevant, but yeah. So, unless I see something extravagant, I'm going to wait until we actually get down and cross that last bridge over to Folly to catch up with you guys there. Alright, so I lied. I said I was going to catch up with you at the last bridge before we headed over Folly, but this will be the first bridge on the way down toward Folly Beach. But, all the things in the world they could have spent the tax money on down here, they bought a fucking neon sign. That's the last thing Folly Beach needed. That shit's tacky as hell. They put that up there a season or two ago. I don't know. Those of us who have been to Folly Beach, oh, it's so great. No, it isn't. Folly Beach is a toilet. But there's plenty of money down here. Looks like we had part of something on the side of the road there.
It's not looking bad thus far.
Now, the last time we were down here after a storm of this caliber, this whole road had to be scraped with a shovel. So they brought out the big tractor to even get over the top of it, because like I'd mentioned before, the reeds from the tidal lands washed right over the top of the road, and the entire road was covered. And you'd see it on the sides of the road. It was like a 3-foot tall pile from where they had just scraped it to the side of the road. So obviously I'm sure we got some storm water down here, don't get me wrong, but for the moment it's looking better than it has. Alright, catch the other side of that bridge. Alright, so on initial appearance, this does not look like Folly Beach after a hurricane.
No.
There's some sticks on the ground. I'm sure there's a couple of trees down, and I think the gas station got a little bit of damage, but we'll check on that later. Gotta go make contact with clients. I don't have the first clue what that is. Maybe that guy's carport or something. Shed fell down. This guy's obviously got a little bit of debris. Thankful I have a tarp.
Cleaning up the church.
Broken up awning. So far, this is looking immaculate down here in relation to what it's looked like in the past. This place is kind of neat. See how they made a garage out of a fucking shipping container?
Oh, that's smart.
Happy dog with an unhappy looking lady. Just making this turn. Well, okay, that house lost a gutter. The Wads, as they were, used to be my clients. They don't like to pay on time, so they're not my clients anymore. Nothing like getting 3, 4, 5 months behind, and then they complain. Wow, look at Bob and Catherine's place, got some water though, because they got the drain in their yard.
Oh, wow, alrighty.
Yeah, the main drain for this part of the island is in Bob and Catherine's yard. I've walked you guys through this yard in the past. I don't currently still do this yard, but I did. Holy moly. I tell you not to drive through water, but I can see the yellow line down the middle of the road. Just go slowly and be respectful of the people around you. Don't create too much wake. Idle speed in first gear. Tell you to turn around, don't drown, but when you can see the line through the road, I think you're alright. So this road is starting to look a bit more like Folly Beach during a hurricane. This is typically what the whole island looks like. I don't know, people who stay down here on this island are they got a special kind of grit, because when this island takes on water, it looks like it took on some, but not much. Like, this island goes underwater completely, like the videos that they showed with the Bahamas from this storm, how like the entire island, this island does that during hurricanes. You'll have the entire island underwater, and people stay. Like, I've been here since, alright.
Worked. That's what I see.
Yeah, that looks like it's probably Duffy's dude doing my fucking job, taking my fucking parking space. So, changing scenery. I don't know if it picks up on the camera. Not 5 minutes after we got down to Folly Beach today. Now that truck is stuck in his own front yard. Been having conversations about Toyota trucks throughout this video. There's a Toyota truck that's stuck in his front yard. I got bit, and we had to leave the beach before I even got 10 minutes into working down there.
Worst bite I've seen. Swelled up. It was bad.
Yeah, we had to leave out of the beach because the whole side of my neck swole. Now we have to go downtown, so I figured I would film a little bit downtown. because our landlord lives downtown, and
Post office is closed.
post office is closed. The mail trucks are not running, and you know, but
There's a cable back on the ground.
yeah, wouldn't let us wait. So, in an effort to keep the landlord happy, you know. Alrighty. Driving like assholes today. This will be a pretty long little piece of video here, just to show, like, if you're coming into Charleston from James Island and you take the little exit, it takes you down here and down by the courthouse. So we're going to follow this road.
It's the marina.
Yeah, down to East Bay Street, and then make a right on East Bay, and head it on down to the Battery and see what it all in this little area right here is looking like.
Surprisingly not bad considering.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think our island got the worst of it.
That's where the majority of the power outages are still,
Yeah.
on our island.
We are blessed and thankful. I am so thankful.
And again, I want to apologize if I'm coming across like a retarded monkey with a football up his ass. Keep in mind, I took 2 Benadryl, and I never take Benadryl, so I'm a little clouded. Hence, I'm sitting in the passenger seat and my wife is driving. And last year, that park right there was all completely flooded. Hey, look, a Toyota. Go, little Toyota, go! Looks 10 to 2 already. A lot of leaves and sticks, man. But so overall, I mean, to think that at this time yesterday, we were still getting 75-mile-an-hour gusts at the beach, which means probably a good 60, 65 miles an hour down here. And you almost can't even tell that anything happened. Like Jim Cantori standing there, but I know it's not. He was in Florida. I did not film the tree over by my mother's house that was down. No.
4 corners of the law.
Yeah, absolutely is. That's what that intersection is. They're back to just painting. They're painting City Hall at the moment. If anybody saw that show called Reckless, City Hall was what they made the courthouse look like, which that is not the courthouse. It was City Hall. They have nice public restrooms there, though, if you ever make it here. Coming up on East Bay Street, there at the end there, that's the Provost Dungeon.
Right.
Yeah. Neat place to go. You can Google it. It's about $12 a head to get in. However, I would not recommend going in the summer. Well, half of the tour takes place in the basement, and it has no air conditioning. So the building has air conditioning, the basement does not. And it's kind of gross down there. Provost, the Provost Dungeon. You can Google why it's gross down there. Tour tourists the day after a hurricane. So we've turned off of Broad Street and we are now on East Bay, which then East Bay becomes South Battery, and that's where we are looking for at the moment. That was a woman that didn't have pants on bending over to pick up leaves. I mean, so far, I don't know, you come down here, this is where the Weather Channel was actually at when they were here. We get right down, the road veers a little to the right, and then off to the left, you see the big seawall, like right there. This is where the Weather Channel was standing yesterday. And 2 hurricanes ago, there were some people, some kids that were like down here actually playing in the water during the hurricane. That was exciting. But if this was, I don't remember if that was Matthew or if that was Irma. I think it was Matthew. All this, even the next day, would still be underwater. And there's some dampness in the gutters, but there ain't any trees down. There's no standing water here. Like, this is the lowest lying portion of Charleston, as far as I know, which is why they have that big elevated seawall. It floods down here when it just rains on a Tuesday. Yeah, South Battery. They actually showed these houses here. This house, right, one of these houses right in here had those big orange barriers. They showed it on the Weather Channel.
Mm-hmm. There's the park. Yeah.
The man was standing in the park. Good-natured gardening. That's hilarious. I used to work for them. I don't see any house numbers yet, Darren. I'm looking. Yeah, in storms in the past, this would not be, we're at 20, would not be at all passable the day after a storm. So the amount of storm water that we got in relation to what was, or what could have been, we got lucky with the tides. Yeah. That's for sure. But I mean, looking at all this is nothing.
Yeah. I mean, get rain.
Yeah, no, it ends up being worse down here after a regular storm. Not a Category 3, 115 mile an hour hurricane. And I realize the eye wall never passed over the top of us, but the outer parts of the storm are still nasty. I haven't seen one tree down here. Not a one. We'll drive around James Island, man. It's got pretty gnarly down there. It's pretty scary too, to be honest with you. I mean, like when I woke up in the morning and you got that first initial trying to figure out where you're at and what's around you.
The 4 a.m. wake up from the alert was
well, we started getting get the hell out of town evacuation texts. Like, we should have already had been gone by that point, but 4 o'clock in the morning you start getting those meh, meh, meh things. And then you get up and you just, I don't know, but the wind was a-blowing.
Well, and that was after staying up for the high tide too.
Yeah, we got a few hours of sleep. I guess today with Benadryl I'm catching up on the sleep that I missed. It was 106 back there. We still got some to go. Yeah. This is where the landlords live in Charleston.
Grateful to have a safe home.
Fort Lightning. Yeah, I used to take care of quite a few houses on this block. I used to do the yards. There's 128. We are getting close. Oddly enough, our landlord drives a Toyota. 32. Well, if it's that I used to tend to his yard. I've eaten off of that citrus tree.
Okay.
Alrighty, now that we got that handled, let's see what there may or may not be to see on the way out of here.
Straight?
Sure. That'll be the loop of the downtown area that gets the water. And it doesn't look like shit. Yeah, that big dog park next to us. Big hole, big hole. Dog park next to us here that says horse lot. Got covered in salt water. Oh, there actually is a tree down over there. Got covered in salt water a couple seasons back and killed the whole field. The whole city was there.
Is that the same time when the park was ruined?
Yep. So as you can see, historic downtown Charleston. The only place we didn't go is Market Street, and I would advise that you don't ever go to Market Street for anything ever.
Horse piss.
It isn't even a matter of that. It's just a matter of there's nothing. I can tell you from firsthand experience, there is nothing at the Charleston City Market Street Market that you need. Not a single thing. And I don't know who needs to hear that, but there's not a single thing down there that you need, that you can't find in the same touristy bullshit shops where you're at that just doesn't say Charleston on it. It says such and such Ohio instead.
If you want to spend $40 on a candle, send me 40 and I'll send you a candle.
Yeah, right? Anyway, not much happening down here. Alright, so I figured we'd take a turn, headed on over into South Windermere, which is just on the other side of the river from where we live. If you've ever seen the drawbridge in any of my videos in the past, it's on the other side of the drawbridge that I always get stuck in. And so far, everything looks alright. Headed on down a little bit closer to the water and take a look. I worked on that guy's pressure washer. Tried to.
Okay.
So far, it's looking like a whole lot of the same over here as well. That golf cart's got wood panels and white walls. I can dig it.
These are on the water.
Yep. Right on the water.
Tree back there was down.
Your crazy cat lady lives somewhere right around in here. She owns a house on, well, there's a tree that went down that's been cut. That was a pretty damn big tree too. Somebody already came and cleared that shit out. We were down on Folly a few weeks back, and my wife had heard of me speak of the crazy cat lady. She actually bought a house on the beach for her cats, and then lives in the house across the street.
The cats get beachfront.
Yeah, they live in a 3-story house on the beach.
It's pink. I'll deal with pink.
Yeah. These two houses are the same owner. They bought the house next door for the guest house. The funny little guy that sat on the back of the toilet for all those years on the surfboard came from in front of their house.
Oh, okay.
It was out for trash. It's been a while since I've been back in this neighborhood. I don't come over here because it doesn't go anywhere. There's no through streets. free. The guy tied a branch that was about 800 pounds on the end of the rope, and I was holding into that rope, and when that branch cut free, I was holding that rope, and it picked me about 10 feet up in the air and threw me into the gazebo next to where the branch landed. That was before we met, dear.
Yeah.
I almost died. Yeah, well, what was a gazebo? He dropped an 800-pound branch and a dude on it. I guess that about concludes that, because I can see the back of the local radio station. That directly in front of us is 98 Rock Charleston.